guys, it's Darcy and I'm coming to you from Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. I'm about to ask some people what they do for a living, how much they should be earning in order to live a comfortable life in South Africa, and what the work life looks like on this side of the world. If you're thinking of hiring remotely or building an overseas team, you are definitely going to want to hear these answers. Don't forget that you can give one of our team members a call using the link in the description. But without further ado, let's get going. What is your name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Jason Davey. I'm 35 years old and I am a flight instructor.
How did you get into being a flight instructor?
Initially, I wanted to be a charter pilot, but I just figured why not broaden my horizons a bit. So my friend said that I should do my instructor's course, so that's what I did. Finished up my flight instructor's course about a year and a half ago, and I've been doing that ever since.
Okay. And did you go to university for this?
No, I've been to university, so I did IT networking for 2 years and a little bit of mechanical engineering, but it wasn't real passion. My passion was always flying, but I think it's definitely helped me in other aspects of life. Like education is good no matter what line of work it's in. Yeah, it just benefits you in the long run, but I didn't actually get into aviation through any tertiary education. It's just been high school. Maths and science is always good in flying.
Okay. And what would be your day-to-day kind of schedule that you do for work?
My job's very flexible. Instead of the 8 to 5 thing, my work allows me to choose what times I'd like to work. So some days could be from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Some days, like for example, tomorrow I'm going in for 4 hours. So yeah, it allows me a lot of flexibility, which is a pretty great perk.
And what would you say your favorite part of the job is and your least favorite or more challenging part?
Okay, my favorite part is probably when a student understands what you are trying to teach, and that moment where they click, and just the enthusiasm on their faces that we all feel when we start flying. My least favorite part is feeling like I haven't gotten through to them, and it's the frustrating part if you keep trying to get through, and if they don't understand, you kind of feel like, am I doing something wrong, or could I be doing something differently? It's not so frustrating. It's just it's a challenging part of the job because everybody's different and they understand things in certain ways.
If you don't mind me asking, what would be a starting salary for someone in your profession as a flight instructor?
A decent starting salary is probably about 15 grand a month. Yeah, that's what I think you probably need just to start up with a very basic place and fuel and etc.
In the field that you're working, do you feel valued for the work that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. We're training guys to be the next generation of pilots. So I think the students appreciate everything you teach them, and as well as other people in the industry, because you're going to be flying alongside these guys one day. So it's important to make sure they do things safely and properly.
Absolutely. Training the new generation, as you were saying.
Yeah.
And what do you think a fair salary would be for a South African to earn in order to live a comfortable life?
For a comfortable life, I would say 25,000 and up would be pretty reasonable. I would say if you need to pay off, if that's everything that you need to pay off day to day or monthly.
Have you ever worked for a remote company before?
Yes, I have. I worked for a online English teaching school that was based in China. I worked for them for about 2 years or so. And yeah, that was also a pretty rewarding experience. And yeah, the money is very good as well. And you learn a lot of people skills also.
If a global company had to offer you another remote job, do you think that you would take it?
Yes, I think I would. You could always, these days, you need to have many side business or side jobs. And I think any opportunity that you can get to be successful is a good choice.
I agree. So you spoke about teaching remotely and then obviously your profession as a flight instructor. What would be your ideal remote job?
My ideal remote job, probably online English teaching or possibly giving lectures on flight instruction, because it's what I do for a living. So I think people should kind of aim towards what they would be doing as a full-time job and then use that to gain extra income for what they would do for their part-time stuff. Rather be an expert in what you do rather than try something completely different. That's what I think is a good idea. Yeah.
What is your name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
Matt Stanley, 32 years old, and I'm a teacher.
Okay, and how did you get into teaching?
To school, I started coaching a bit, and then I realized that maybe teaching could be the profession that I wanted to get into. So, yeah, then long story short, did an internship at a school and became a teacher a few years later.
Oh, that's amazing. And did you obtain a tertiary education? Did you go to university?
I did, yes. I studied remotely and I got my Bachelor of Education degree.
Okay, and do you believe that studying was worth your time as you've become a teacher, or do you think you could have gone without it?
Absolutely. I think I wouldn't have landed up where I am without my degree at the moment. So yeah, definitely learned a lot of skills and met some cool people along the way. And yeah.
What does your work life, your day to day look like?
So because I'm in the boarding space, I have to wake up at 6 in the morning, check up on the boys, and then classes start from about like 7:30, runs until midday. We have lunch and then the sports program kicks in and then boarding duties like a little bit later on. So yeah, so quite a nice busy day.
What would be your favorite part of your job and then your most challenging part of your job?
My favorite part will be the interactions with the boys and the people that you work with. And also the most challenging part is dealing with that. We all know how easy and how difficult it is dealing with people and parents and everyone. But yeah, it's very rewarding.
And what would be the most valuable skill you think you've picked up since becoming a teacher?
The ability to sometimes just listen to people and just hear them out and try and understand where we all come from. And I think once we learn to listen to one another and you know a little bit more, you get a better picture. And yeah, it's amazing just getting to know people, who they really are.
Have you ever worked for a remote company before?
No, actually not.
And if a global company had to offer you a job, a remote job, would you take it?
I think definitely, like if it fits into my needs and the lifestyle and everything, yeah, I don't see why not.
And what would the ideal remote job for you look like?
Somewhere where I could find a bit more flexibility and work the hours that I want to work, but still somehow have regular interactions with others, especially the kids. I think seeing that it is my profession. So yeah, whether it's online or whether it's every now and again going in, but it'll definitely that interaction is important.
And do you feel valued for the work that you do?
I definitely do. I think put in is what you get out, especially with the people. So it's lovely seeing the boys' energy and the staff. Like I said, I definitely do.
And what would be a starting salary for someone in the teaching industry?
Probably about like 20 to 25,000 a month, I would imagine. I don't know. I've been doing it for the last few years. So I don't know what it is now. It might even be more, like 25 to 30,000, depending if it's private or if it's government posts. But I think that's what it could be.
Okay, and that's your starting. That's like your level 1, basically. Name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Thembisa. I'm 40 years old. I'm doing caring
Okay, so like caregiving for
someone there by Lorraine old age home.
Okay, and how did you get into caregiving, Thembisa?
I went to the school doing 3 months for theory, 3 months for practicals.
Okay, and did you go to university for this?
No, I didn't go to university.
Okay, do you think that you should have, or do you think that you've learned enough what you need to do with the courses that you did?
I've learned enough for do what I'm doing.
Okay, what is your favorite part about your job, and then what's your least favorite part?
My favorite part, to see my patient is happy. I'm not happy when he's not happy. Maybe when he's feeling sick, I'm not happy with that.
And what is the most valuable skill you think you've learned while you've been a caregiver?
I used to look for someone who's look like disabled. Now I did learn to like doing high blood pressure, to see the blood sugar, all those stuff I did learn.
Okay, so doing like little medical tests.
Yes, I did.
Have you ever worked remotely for an overseas company?
No.
So if a global remote company had to offer you a job, would you take it?
Yes, I will.
What would be a starting salary for someone that does caregiving in South Africa?
The starting salary, it started from 6,000 up to 9.
What kind of salary do you think a South African should earn in order to live a comfortable life here?
For caring, 12,000, I think it will be fine.
I think that's a fair rate for the amount of work that you do. What kind of remote job do you think you'd be really good at?
This one I'm doing, caring, I think it will be good for me.
If you had to put yourself in 20 seconds to a possible employer, what would you say to them?
They're taking a right person because I know what I'm doing. Like, I like people and I know how to handle with sort of things. If sick, I know how to do it, how to deal with those things.
What is your first name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
My name's Bella, I'm 23 and I am a project manager.
Okay, how did you get into project management?
So I started off as a production manager and I worked in Joburg for a year, and then I applied online remotely for a project manager and I just gained experience.
Okay, that's very cool. And what is your favorite part and your least favorite part about your job?
Favorite part is the community. Honestly, the people that I work with are absolutely amazing, and yeah, it's just I've never been in a workplace where there's no like toxicity or anything like that. The challenging part would be maybe the hours, because I work for an American company, so the hours for the time zones are quite tricky, but everything else is just amazing.
And did you obtain any further education? Did you go to university or did you go for like a tertiary education?
Absolutely not. I just matriculated, I went straight into the working field, and then yeah, that's how I got my experience. So no degree, nothing.
What is the most valuable skill that you've learned so far?
Honestly, the people skill, just like communication within that, time management, organization and all of that kind of stuff, just the basics are a lot of strengths that you need to learn to obviously have the job, and also being like a sales representative if you want to, earn commission or anything like that. Yeah, that's all that I know. That's what I apply to my job.
Do you feel valued for the work that you do in your company?
100%. I mean, like I said, the community that I work with, everyone, we do it like a kudos system. So if you do something really good at job, or like if you've like done anything or just had a win, then they celebrate it with you. So I think that's really wholesome. A lot of companies nowadays, they don't celebrate the small wins. It's only like your big promotions or anything like that. But whereas where I'm working, it's anything that's even personal or work life, they're there to support you 100%. So yeah.
Oh, that's a very encouraging environment to be in. Have you ever worked remotely for a company?
I am currently, this is the job that I'm with now. We are working remote. Like I said, it's an American company. So yeah, it's fully remote. It's my first one.
And if global remote recruiting company had to approach you for another remote job, would you take it?
It just depends on what the bracket is. But probably yes, depending on the bracket, the salary bracket.
What would be the most ideal remote job that you would be good at?
Project management. It's what I'm doing now. It's what I'm used to. It's what I've gained my experience in, as well as production management. I feel like they're quite similar. But yeah, definitely project management doing remotely, because I have the skills for that.
And what would be a starting salary for someone in your position as a project manager?
A remote project manager, I think the starting would minimum be $800 a month, going up to $1,200 or $1,800.
And what do you think the salary for a South African to live comfortably would be?
I would say comfortably $1,800, just because the economy is quite scary at the moment. It is tough to live on a small salary. So yeah, definitely minimum would be $1,800 just to live comfortably and have a good life, and have someone stay with your company. You need to value them.
Absolutely. Show your value and they'll stick around for a little bit longer.
Exactly.
And what does your typical workday look like?
So because the time zones are different for my American company, I start at 3 p.m. SAST, so that's South African time. And then it's an 8-hour shift like your normal corporate job, Monday to Friday. So 3 p.m. to 11 at night is when I start doing my work. So it's a little bit hectic, but once you get into the groove, it's a really nice work-life balance, because you've got your morning routine to yourself. You just got your morning to yourself, you've got your afternoon, and then you can get stuck into work. So yeah, that's the routine.
Pitch yourself to a potential employer in 20 seconds. What would you say?
Honestly, I would go up to them and say, look, here's my experience on my CV. This is where I've worked in the past. I would tell them that I have high organization skills. I'm a good people's person. I've learned how to do sales now. I'm not very good at selling myself, but I would highlight my strengths and my weaknesses, and then tell them that I can obviously learn from my weaknesses, and hopefully they can take me on from that. But yeah, it's all in the CV.
All in the CV. If you put down enough on your CV, then they'll be all good. What is your name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
My name's name's Gareth, and I'm a cybersecurity expert in the crypto space.
Oh, wow. We definitely need more of you in the world. And how did you get into this?
So I studied computer science, and weirdly, I became like a data scientist first. And after that, my boss at the time asked me to like look into crypto and like see what it's about, and I did. And I like did a small little project, and then he told me it was rubbish. It was a bit awkward, and I was like, no, I kind of think that there's something to this. Like, there's definitely a lot of like use cases outside of just investments. So I self-taught myself like that aspect of software development. Applied for a job, got the job, and then just worked my way up. And yeah, I kind of got into it. COVID was also a big thing. Because of COVID, like I had a lot of time to self-study. So yeah, it was kind of that time period where I decided, okay, I want to do something like more in my passion.
And obviously, you've answered my question about if you went to university and got a tertiary education. Do you believe that that was beneficial?
I believe it's beneficial from a point of learning how to work hard, because you have to work hard to pass, especially in like a computer science degree where they are quite strict with their marking and stuff like that. So that was beneficial. But I kind of self-taught myself everything else after varsity that I needed to, and the resources nowadays, I really do think you don't have to have a tertiary education. So for example, when we hire, we don't look at that at all. Like I've never looked at if someone has a degree. I look at what they've built and what they've done, and a lot of the people that work for us are ex-hairdressers, SABC producers, like people who have just self-taught themselves software development and then come into the industry. So yeah, it's got its benefits, but I wouldn't say it's a necessity.
What does your day-to-day work day look like?
In the industry, it's very abnormal compared to like standard industry corporate type of stuff where it's very deliverable based, not hours based. So my standard work day, I don't like working in the morning. I like to sleep. So I only wake up at like 9:30, and then I'll start working 10:10. And basically I just speak to the guys at work, see what tickets need to be done today, kind of wing it, what I feel like doing. I'll then code a bit, do some security stuff. Like my day is it's very interrupt. It's not like corporate where you sit at your desk. I go have coffee, I chill, I'll go to the golf course, putt a bit, come back. I work best in the afternoon. So then from about 2, I sit down and like really work until maybe 6, 7, and then cut off at like 7, 8.
That's so lovely to be able to have that control over what you're...
Yeah, it's really cool. It allows me to just have a really good work-life balance, because if I want to play golf, I can at like 6, 7 in the morning, and I still have time to do my work. Whereas like with the typical 9 to 5, if you're not there from 9 to 5, you get in trouble. Where I did that when I came out of varsity, and I would sit at my desk for 3 hours of the day doing nothing because I was just bored. Like no one can work from 9 to 5 straight. It's just humans not supposed to do that.
Absolutely, I agree. And what is your favorite part of your job and your least favorite or more challenging part?
Securing, like knowing that I'm making a serious difference to like what's happening in the world. Like to go a little bit more into what I do, but everything that we currently know in like the financial systems is being built with crypto. So every bank that we know, there's banks being built using crypto. Everything that you know that you can do with fiat currency is currently being built that you can do it with crypto. Because people are holding a lot of crypto, so they need to be able to do the same actions. So because I'm in the security side of things, it's really cool to know that I'm making a difference to securing people's like money and what they're interacting with. And I know because there are a lot of scams, so it's like my favorite part is just knowing that I'm actually helping the person, the end user, you don't want people losing their money, like your life savings and stuff. So that's my favorite part. And also client communications. I love talking to people and doing conferences. Like I love talking. Worst part or most challenging? Sure. Staying up to date with the industry, I would say, because it's a new industry. It's moving so fast and there's constantly like upgrades and things happening. Is if you want to be like a security expert in the space, you have to always know what's going on. And I'm not talking about like knowing what the crypto prices are doing, but like knowing if there's new standards for software development, if there's new security practices, like you have to be aware of all of these. Otherwise, you're not staying on top of your job. So that's really difficult.
And one of the other questions is, do you feel valued for what you do?
Definitely. Like because the industry is so small, they understand that not a lot of people can necessarily do it. And a lot of people are like coming into the space, which is great. So customers or clients, they really appreciate the stuff that you do. So it's nice to like form the work and know that your boss and customers and everyone involved is like working as a team. And it's like, thank you for your help in the bigger scheme of things. So it's really cool.
And what would be a starting salary for someone in your industry?
A starting salary would be about, I would say, 50,000 Rand a month. If you're on the development side, it's about 30, but I'm on security. And to be on the security side, you have to have gone through the development side. So if we get like a junior security expert, you pay them between 50 and 60,000 Rand a month.
And what would you feel the ideal salary for a South African to live comfortably in their life should be?
So comfortable, everyone has a different different definition of comfortable. I would say probably 50,000 Rand where we are in Port Elizabeth, you would live a comfortable life. More to like the 60, 70,000, you could live like a really good, comfortable life, as in really nice area, really nice place, do what you want, etc. But if you're living in like the more expensive areas, honestly do think that with the way that inflation's going and stuff, you need like 70, 80,000. Not that you can't live on anything less. I mean, you obviously can. But like if you want to live comfortably, that's like the range I would look at. If you want to live comfortably, like you want to have your medical aids, you want to have your life insurances, you want to just be settled in where you are and feel comfortable, that's definitely what you need.
If you had to pitch yourself in 20 seconds to a possible employer, what would you say?
A very fast learner. I can take on any challenge, no matter what it is. I've self-studied my whole life to get to where I am, and I will keep doing that no matter what. I'm very good with people. I speak to clients. I'm known as the client whisperer. Speak at conferences, so I understand the personable side of work, not just the business side, which is really important. So yeah, I think my combination of people skills and being able to learn really fast and keep up with an industry that's moving so quickly is why I'd be really good for anyone to hire me.
Have you ever worked remotely?
Only my whole life. I've never not worked remotely, actually. I worked for a remote company in South Africa. Well, they're based in South Africa, but I lived in Port Elizabeth. I worked for a remote company in Switzerland, now Australia. So I've never actually gone to an office.
And that kind of answers my question. I was going to ask if a global company, so not necessarily one in South Africa, had to offer you a remote job, would you take it?
Yeah, I'll definitely take it and not want to move. Because sometimes they say, oh, you can move if you want. I'd stay here.
I absolutely agree. South Africa is a beautiful place. And what would be a remote job that you'd be really good at?
So it would be in what I do now, but I think it would be more of like client facing instead of just being the security expert. So I think a job where I can speak to clients, because that's what I used to have, and now I'm more into the actual like weeds of the security. But remote job where I can still speak to clients and do a lot of traveling for conferences. That would be awesome.
What is your first name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
Owen van Zanten, that's my name. I'm 30 years old and I work in industry as a functional SAP consultant.
How did you get into this field?
So I started working in the tobacco industry and we were selling capital equipment in the whole African region. So I was working in North and West Africa, and this company had a project at the time in a mine in the Congo. They needed some people to assist with the rollout of the S4 environment. So this is my rate, this is the contract. Can we make an arrangement? And they said, yeah.
Did you gain a tertiary education or go to university, etc.? And do you think that helped you in any way?
Oh, definitely. So I think the first aspect is always the network that you build up. It's always super important. And the skill set that you learn. Normally when you study, it's such a broad, range of subjects that you cover, but it gives you the background that you need and also the mindset that you need to work.
And what would your day-to-day kind of work day look like?
It's very project dependent. So at the moment we're doing a project in Saudi. So I kind of have to adjust to their time. Luckily, it's only an hour out. So normally wake up, have a coffee, do a stand-up meeting with my team, and then we just go through all the deliverables and the data, ensure that everything is prepared for the next load.
What is your favorite part of your job, and what is one of the more challenging parts of your job?
Favorite part of the job is definitely the client's engagement. Customers all over the world. It's fun. Maybe it's one of two favorite things. The other favorite thing is obviously working with the data and understanding it. You get a lot of insight in how companies run their business. It's kind of like you do a mini audit while you do the project. So the most challenging part is definitely some of the timelines that they put up. So with these projects that we work on, there's a tendency that they have too much budget in the beginning and too little budget at the end, and then they just compress the timeline. So normally when we do something for 8 months, they do it for 6 months. So we just steamroll through the project, and it can get a little bit tough from time to time.
My word, so you've got to compact all of that work and all of that time that it should originally take into time crunching for a small amount of time. That must put a lot of pressure on you guys.
Definitely. And also like the hours we bill is less, which sucks.
So you basically work more than you get paid.
It does happen, yeah.
If you had to receive an offer from an overseas company or global company to work remotely in this kind of field, would you take that opportunity?
I don't think I would, So I work remotely now because of the nature of the work, and we're on site on the projects. So let's say 60% of the project I'll be at home and the 40% I'll be on site wherever it may be. And we kind of have to be competitive with our rates because working in an international, say, environment, they kind of look at two areas, which is good rates. It's actually three. It's India, South Africa, and South America. So we have to be highly competitive in that regard to get the business in. And I don't think if I were to do the same job with say a UK-based or or American-based salary, we would get a lot of business.
That's very interesting. A lot of people have obviously gone for, yeah, I'll go remote. But when you're in a competitive industry like this, you also don't necessarily want to go through another company. You kind of want to do it. You've got something established already. And obviously, that's going to be a bit tricky if someone else is doing that for you and telling you how to run it. You already know how to run it.
Yeah, no, definitely. But within like our industry, people tend to freelance. So you can either freelance or you can be permanent within the company. And I chose to be permanent within the company because it gives me better opportunities on leadership positions and just progressing.
What is one of the most important or valued skills that you've learned since starting your career?
I don't know if I can say this, but it's kind of like embracing the suck. You know, if something really is difficult and you struggle through it, you can't just like throw your hands in the air and say, oh, woe is me. You have to kind of figure out a way to get through that, and you learn a lot better through doing that's like applied learning. So I think that's definitely like a soft skill that you need to have. And then a hard-based skill is just coding languages. So in the SAP field, you use ABAP programming, and then you have a Fiori interface that you use. And then on the data side, you normally use Python or VBA script if you kind of want to dumb it down a bit. But at the end of the day, most people work in Excel. So I know, right? Every company has an Excel spreadsheet that just does the thing that it needs to do.
What would be a typical starting salary for someone in your field?
So it's very dependent on what the company is willing to pay. There's different levels to it. So some companies are like a sausage factory. They just churn people through and they don't really care much about development. But our company is quite good at that. So we've got a structured internship program. So it's about a 3-year program. You go from a junior to kind of like an intermediary. And then after, say, 6 years in industry, you'll be classified as a senior consultant or a senior resource. A first year would normally get 25 a month. And then you would go to like a 32. And then I think when you're classified as intermediary level, you, depending on how the company sees your worth, I think you'll end up between 45 and 55.
So then would the 45 and 55 be kind of the ballpark that you'd think someone in South Africa could live comfortably on?
Well, that depends. I mean, South Africa is definitely based on a dual stream of income, and there's nothing as attractive as a dual stream of income because then you can definitely, buying a house or having a car or having a more, comfortable way of living. I do think in South Africa things are a lot more cheaper than it is abroad. And if you look at what the median income is within South Africa to live comfortably, I think on the previous census they had like 650,000 rand per annum, and that's a dual stream of income. So you're looking at, I would say, 28,500 rand a month per person in the household. Now, if you're single, that's completely different. Then you're sitting, 55 and above. But yeah, I rate that's okay because that already puts you like in the higher percentage of earners. There's not a lot of people that, in industry that tends to earn that amount of money, within the first, I don't want to say 5 years of working.
No, that's fair. I mean, like in South Africa, I think it takes a really long time for people to climb that ladder, especially if the employer isn't very fair.
Yeah, when is an employer ever fair? It's difficult because with the work that we do, we kind of see what is invoiced because we also invoice the company if you're a freelancer, and the margins can get quite crazy. You look at like 2 to 3 times what you get paid a month, but you need to look past that because it's an administrative business. There's a lot of, let's say, jobs in a company that's not income serving. So it's administrative, it's management, it's the back end of the office. So they need to get their salary out, and the people kind of like in the trenches doing the work are the ones to generate that wealth or that income for them as well.
Do you feel valued for what you do and what you contribute to the world and to your company at the moment?
Oh, definitely. It's interesting that you said contribute to the world. I mean, I started off in tobacco and now I'm kind of like in the mining industry. So no one likes me because, I'm not contributing anything. But I definitely do feel value within the company. They're very good at spotting and retaining talent, and it helps with your motivation. I mean, when I started working, I only had, yearly based contracts. So in my 4 years of working, I kind of worked at 4 companies, which is pretty wild because you always have to move around and kind of like get your life together. And they were one of the few that said, listen, we like what you do. Don't freelance, be permanent with us. So me working on contract base, and do I feel value within the company? So in the first 4 years of working, I could only get a year contract at a time, different companies. So I was in Cape Town, I was in PE, back in Cape Town, now back in PE. But it's good. I mean, I feel value. They've got a good way of spotting and retaining talents. And I mean, you can always complain about like, oh, the salary is not super great or the hours are long. But at the end of the day, I can't see myself moving out of that and still do the same thing I want to do and have, say, the level of respect or enjoyment or freedom that I have. And a big part for me is the ability to work from home. And it's very much a trust-based system. So like today, I mean, I chipped my tooth and I had to went to to go to the dentist. And for me, it's easy to just block myself out for 2 hours, shoot through, come back, finish my work. Because if I don't finish at 4, then I'll probably just finish at 6. So it's a very, say, dynamic environment, fluid.
If you had to put yourself to anyone that, could possibly be working with you or giving you business, what would you say?
What we do is we migrate legacy systems to new systems. So if you look at SAP and you look at a company as a human body, SAP is kind of the sinew, like it ties everything together. So bigger companies that would run, your core let's say business processes, so from accounts to payments to supply chain to procurement to production to maintenance. SAP kind of ties all of that in together, and it's actually just the bigger companies that can afford it. It's tremendously expensive to run a SAP system. So for those companies that are looking to migrate from ECC to S4, you can always call me. I'm pretty good on the PM and the MM module, and yeah, we'll sort you out.
Hi, what is your first name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
Hi Darcy, my name is Sitha. I'm 24 years old and I'm a digital marketing specialist.
That is amazing. How did you get into that field, Sitha?
So actually, it started in 2020. I was studying accounting and then COVID hit. So everything changed to a virtual remote type of vibe. And from there, I actually developed my own business where I had to do my own graphics and, website development and all of those things. So I thought, why not offer those services to customers?
That's a very good idea. And did you obtain a tertiary education? Did you go to university?
So actually in the beginning, no, I did not obtain any, formal qualification. But recently I did complete a short course within digital marketing just to also have that paper backing the skill set.
And do you believe that your studies have helped you in what you are doing with social media and digital marketing?
So what I studied was accounting, but what I can say is accounting helped me because I have my own digital marketing agency. So obviously I'm able to do my own financials in a personal capacity as well as on a business front. So it did help me in terms of that. And like I said, I only got the formal qualification after getting my skill set in terms of the digital marketing space.
And what would a normal work day look like for you?
So obviously I would wake up, look at all of my emails and check if there's any important communication that I need to respond to. Then I would go through a checklist. So the checklist is basically what I need to complete during the day, and obviously go through the checklist, make sure that I meet the deadlines, because ultimately if I don't meet the deadlines, then the clients aren't happy. So we don't want that.
And what is your favorite part of your job and the more challenging side?
So my favorite part of my job is that I get to engage with different people from, different countries, which is very exciting because you get to know like different cultures and different personalities, which is great. And then I think maybe the challenge within my industry or my job title is that you need to be up in terms of, the different trends. You need to know your technical side of things, with AI being introduced, you need to know how to utilize AI and making sure that you create the right content for your clients.
And what is the most important skill that you think that you've picked up?
So for me, I think the most important skill that I've picked up is technical skills. Those skills kind of helped me in my everyday day-to-day life. Something as simple as, Excel sheets, Word, those are quite your basic platforms. But I think even with presentations, if someone is having a birthday, I could easily just create a graphic for them. So I definitely think that is my advantage.
Have you ever worked remotely before for a company outside of South Africa?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And if another global company had to offer you a remote job, would you say yes?
Yes, I would say yes, because obviously I am comfortable with working with companies remotely. And I think it's very important for your work-life balance. So, working remotely allows that.
I absolutely agree. It just allows for that work-life balance so smoothly. And what would be the best remote job that you would say yes to?
So I think at this stage, I'm really into website development. I think that in terms of small to large scale businesses or startups, website development is very important because that's, basically the channel where people can find out information about what you offer and things like that. So I'm really, really keen on website development.
Very good skill to have. I think everyone needs to learn a bit about that. Do you feel valued for the work that you do?
Obviously, in the beginning, I, didn't have any knowledge in terms of like what is the market going for and things like that. But I think at this stage, I do feel definitely valued because I realize that it's better to have 2 or 3 clients that you work with, and obviously you engage with them on a closer basis than having like 5 or more clients on a one-time goal, because obviously you get overworked and you get tired, and obviously you want to deliver 100% for each client.
What would be a starting salary for someone in your position as a digital marketing specialist?
So I think if you are starting, if let's say you've got 1 or 2 years experience, 15,000 would make sense because you've got different skill sets under the title.
And then on the other side of that, what would be a salary that you think a South African should earn in order to live comfortably here?
So it really depends where you are in terms of like your city. So I don't know if you would like me to give you a breakdown of the different cities or major cities.
Maybe the major cities, but also in PE.
Okay, so since I'm based in PE, I think 30,000 would make sense because obviously you need to take into consideration, your living expenses, personal things, and then also saving for your future endeavors.
If you had to put yourself to someone that could possibly employ you or want to hire you, you've got 20 seconds to put yourself to them. What would you say?
So I would say that I have over 5 years experience within the digital marketing space. My skill set is website development, social media management, ad management, and also brand management. I definitely think that is an advantage to any company. And also since I have experience working remotely with different individuals in the UK, the USA, I think that is a big advantage because you're able to understand clients, especially when you're working in this remote space.
What is your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Abby Fouchier. I'm 21 and I'm in sales to do with wine and spirits.
How did you get into what you're doing now?
Basically just through people who knew me. They spoke about myself to some friends that they knew and then they offered me the job.
Did you go to university or take like extra courses or anything? And if so, did you think it was worth it?
No, I go to university but not for anything to do with the job that I'm busy doing. I'm literally just doing a course on the side just to have something behind my name. But other than that, I just learn through YouTube and what my boss says.
What does a typical work day for you look like?
Well, it's pretty chilled for me. Like most places have different times when the managers come in, and that's the most important part for me is to be there when a manager's there so I can discuss and try get sales through them. So it's quite easy in the mornings, but sometimes they do different hours, so it depends. So I can wake up and have a chill day and only work in the afternoon 2-3 hours. And tomorrow if I decide I don't have a list to go out, I can just go and send emails for the day.
What is your favorite part of your job? And then the more challenging part of your job?
I'd say like the more challenging side is when you get all the no's, because a lot of places, we small wine farms that we're busy marketing and selling for. So now when you go to places, they don't know the names. It's hard to get the brands in there. But once you get that first yes out of like 50 no's, it's like insane. You get so excited and so happy about it.
And then the most favorite part of your job, or the thing that you love the most about your job?
Is probably doing all the wine tastings and the events and part of it. Like that's just so fun.
What is the most important skill that you think that you've picked up so far?
I think just being myself and being genuine, like because I'm young, I use that to my advantage, and you're in the industry, I just speak to them like from the heart. I'm just like, I'm new, like just try my things. If you don't like it, I'm so sorry, like I'll take it back, like I'll give you money, like just I'll buy you coffee, like it really gives you a lot of confidence because you really have to just go and speak to the most random people, you don't even know them, and you just have to have confidence going forward.
Have you ever worked remotely for a company outside of South Africa?
No, not at all actually. Everything that I've done is only in SA.
If a global company outside of South Africa had to offer you a remote job, would you take it?
I probably would take it because if it's a really good exchange rate, that'll be lovely because the rand is poor.
What kind of remote job do you think you'd be really good at and why?
I really like working on laptops and stuff, so I'd probably enjoy doing something where it comes to like invoicing places or doing quotes and stuff like that, as well as just like having fun and making even like event things, advertising stuff. That would be quite fun.
In your industry, obviously in sales, what would be a difficult starting salary?
I would say like it's quite hard with us going into it because you get a thing called a retainer, which some wine farms pay you, and then we get commission on top of it. So starting off, it's really difficult. You're not getting the most money that you possibly want, but obviously that's that's where it comes to grinding, because then you know that if you're putting in the effort, the commission is coming to you. So I'd say that like a starting salary in this would probably be around 4 or 5K, which is sad, but it's like, you just got to push it so that eventually you get to a point where you're really high up and you're making something for yourself that you can eventually get someone working for you under it.
You're working your way up, hey? That is absolutely the way to go. And what kind of salary in South Africa would you need to be able to live comfortably on?
I would probably say like 120,000 a year would probably maybe be okay for you to really push through. If there's commission on top of that, that'd be great.
Do you feel valued for the work that you do?
That's a really hard question, because I feel valued by my boss and like the company, and it really like it's a rewarding job. But like from the managers from places, they're not very rewarding, because you can get some real rude people and then you just like walk out and you want to cry, but it's okay.
If you had to pitch yourself to anyone, for instance, someone watching this video, if you had to pitch yourself to them in 20 seconds, try and tell them what you do, why they should employ you, what would you say?
I'd probably say that like I work in sales for wine, and you know, we've got a few wine farms that we basically do sales for, and they're small, they're not your mass scale production, so it's your small boutique style. You can really like, it's not your everyday wine, so it's fun to do wine tastings for them and learn to drink a different type of wine.
What is your first name, your age, and what do you do for a living?
So my name's JP. I'm 23 years old and I run a social media agency.
How did you get into doing this?
So I wanted to do chartered accounting first, and then I went to go job shadow and then did not enjoy it. And then I started studying at Varsity College and I went into marketing, and then I really enjoyed that. And then I got a job at a marketing agency. So that's just kind of how it led to me doing my own thing now. So yeah.
You said you went to Varsity College as like a tertiary kind of education. So would you say that that was worth your time, or would you say that you could have gone without it?
I would say I definitely could have gone without it, because what you learn in Varsity College or any tertiary education isn't really practical in terms of like the real world, because it's very all theory based, and when you actually go into the job, it's very more practical, like doing the design. So I think you can go without university. You can also just use YouTube. There's a lot of resources out there that can actually help you do that, rather than going to university and spending all that money.
No, I absolutely agree. Like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Because it was 60,000 Rand a year, to go to Varsity College. It was stupid expensive.
What does your typical workday look like?
So I usually wake up at 7 o'clock, and then I get some work done. So I answer, I reply to comments on all my client feeds and all that. So I reply to all their comments and all of that. And then I usually go to the gym at 11 o'clock to train for triathlon. And then I come back and I schedule all the posts for the rest of the month. And I also do video editing. So that takes up a lot of my time. So that's pretty much my day every single day. All my days just blend into each other. I don't even know what day it is most of the time. I just wake up and I do my work. So yeah.
Wake up and grind.
Literally, the other day I went to the gym and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go pitch to a client. I get there and they already closed at 12 o'clock. And I was like, oh man, it's a Friday, that's why. And I didn't even know it was a Friday. I just woke up and I was like, oh, I need to go there. So yeah.
What is your favorite part of the job, and what do you find the most challenging? So opposite ends.
So my favorite part of the job is definitely interacting with people. I love connecting with people and having fun with people. I think that's where I stand out with what I do. I always make people feel very comfortable and I make them laugh, and I don't make it so serious, because life isn't that serious. So I always try and make fun with it. And the other end of it, the most challenging part is, I think, really putting yourself out there and actually pitching yourself to clients. But the worst thing they can say is no. And it's once you get over that barrier of not having the fear of them saying no, then from there it's a lot easier.
What's the most important skill that you've picked up so far?
I definitely say shaking hands. The more hands you shake, the more further you will get in your industry, especially in the industry that you and I are both in. I always say your net worth is your network is your net worth. The more people you know and the more hands you shake definitely helps getting clients, because you always want to have people that can refer you. And that's always the nice thing, where you can work with people and they'll always refer you if you do a good job. So I think being able to network with people and become friendly with them, and always I'd say get to the point, don't try and beat around the bush, say what you do and how you can help them, and that helps them understand that you are serious about what you do.
You heard it here first, folks. Your network is your net worth. Have you ever worked remotely with people outside of South Africa?
Yeah, so I currently have a client that's based in America. They're based in Detroit, so they're business brokerage. So the nice thing is that they pay in dollars, but the thing that isn't so nice is the hour difference, because obviously they are behind us. So when it's 6 o'clock in the evening here, when they want to have a meeting, it's only 8 o'clock in the morning for them. So it's dealing with that, and it's long hours, because you stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning trying to deal with their kind of work, just because their hours are so different to ours. But I mean, the pay, for me, in my opinion, justifies the hours rather. So yeah.
If a global remote company offered you a job, would you accept it?
So I would definitely accept a remote job. I think it also helps, especially in the industry that we're in. You always want to have like the freedom of being able to work from anywhere. Like for instance, you can be at the beach, you take your laptop with, work on while you're at the beach or whatever. So remote work for me, it also helps you as a person become more independent and work better by yourself and actually learn to be disciplined and like work on yourself while working for other people.
In your industry, what is a typical starting salary?
From the previous like industries, like agencies that I've worked for, some of them only pay you between like 8 and 10,000 rand a month, which is like not a lot at all. Especially if you take into account like rent and food and everything, that leaves you pretty much like nothing to like actually spend on yourself or like your girlfriend or boyfriend if you have one. So like it's really not great. And also most agencies that I've experienced here, they expect you to have experience coming straight out of university, but it's kind of hard to gain experience when like you aren't given opportunity to like actually get the experience. So, but I mean, it's usually between like 8 and 10,000 rand that I've seen that's here in PE. So yeah.
Do you feel valued with the work that you do?
Absolutely. I think I do have value in what I do. I also feel like I provide a lot of value to my clients and to like customers. When you do a shoot for them, they usually wait like a week to get the video like of an event that happened on the weekend. So then you're kind of missing the whole like FOMO kind of thing. Like you're missing out, but like the video that you only got was sent a week later. So I pride myself on ensuring that my clients get the videos within 24 to 48 hours of the event to still keep like the in the moment kind of thing. So yeah, so I feel like I provide a lot of value with that.
If someone wanted to live comfortably in Port Elizabeth in South Africa, what kind of salary should they be looking at?
MP, I'd say between like 20 to 30,000 rand a month. Just in terms, because depending on where you're like living in PE, if you're living in Summer Strand, for instance, like where I am, like rent is sometimes up to like 10,000 rand. So like it's a big chunk of your salary going just to rent. And then there's still food you have to pay for. And obviously you want some money to like go into savings and medical aid and insurance. So there's a lot of like factors to take in, especially living here in PE. So I definitely say between 20 and 30,000 rand a month.
If you had to pitch yourself in 20 seconds to anyone, what would you say?
J Media Creations is a social media agency that helps you get stress-free from marketing. That's what we do. We do that all for you. We do it in-house. We come in once a month, shoot all the content for 1 to 3 months, and that helps you focus on your business, and we take care of all the marketing for you.
That is insane, and it sounds like you're on the right path for career success, JP. I wish you all the best on your endeavors, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for popping in to interview with us. And there you have it, everyone. Today we got to hear some honest answers from the people of Port Elizabeth about what they do, what a fair and comfortable salary for them would be, and what the work life looks like on this side of the world. If you're thinking of hiring remotely or working with an overseas team, click the link in the description to book a call with one of our agents, and you never know, you could be saving yourself a substantial amount. But that's enough from us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.